Hello and welcome back to Project 380. In this episode, I'm going to be installing some Footwell lights to the Mark II. Now you may have already seen on the Mark I, I've already got these installed. And I bought the exact same kit for the Mark II as they're so cheap and they work really well. The kit I'm using is One and they're pretty easy to install. In this kit, you've got the control box, connected to 4 LED strips, a couple of alcohol wipes, and the manufacturer's opinion. Now this does come with a USB plug on it. So if you've got a spare USB slot, that's half the installation done. So you can obviously plug it straight into a USB port, but that's going to leave some unsightly wires hanging out your dash. And I try and do things neatly here. You can't simply just cut this down and connect it straight up to a positive and live, as this takes 5 volts, not 12, and you'll just blow it straight up. So this does need to go into a USB slot somewhere. So behind this panel, and behind all of this spaghetti, somewhere, I have wired in a hidden USB slot. I've wired this up to the USB slot I've got in the front of the panel, connected to my power distribution unit, which comes on with the key. I have done something similar in the Mark I, but instead I've just teed straight off the back of the cigarette lighter. Now before I plug this in and tuck it up behind the dash, on this control box is a QR code. We need to scan that before it's hidden away in the dash. And this will bring you to the Lotus Lantern app, which you can select all the colours you want and certain presets and functions, but we'll play with that more when they're all installed. So yes, this kit does have 4 light strips, but from my previous experience in the Mark I liked the effect of 2 light strips per Footwell. So I'm going to plug this into the USB slot, tuck the control box and all the wires behind the dash, and feed 2 light strips down to each Footwell. Now because this box has a removable plug, I have just secured that with some Tessa tape, just to ensure that doesn't come out. But it's a good job we scanned that QR code first. So now it can be plugged into the USB slot and all tucked in the dash. Then I pulled 2 light strips from the centre console into each Footwell. These alcohol wipes are to clean any surface that you're going to put these LED strips on, but honestly, the sticky pads on the back of these are pretty much useless unless you're sticking it to something perfectly flat. And in the Footwell of the Mx5s, there's pretty much nowhere flat. So tie wraps are your best friend. I'm going to tie wrap these LED strips up in the Footwells. So from my previous experience with the Mark I like one strip facing down and the other one right at the back of the Footwell facing back. This gives you a good amount of coverage in the Footwell. So I'm going to tie wrap them up, and when you're doing this, especially in the driver's side, make sure the strips and all the wires are not going to interfere with the steering or the pedals, and make sure you can't get your feet caught on them. The LED strips are all installed and all the wires are tucked away neatly. It's time to put the keys in and see what these look like. Well, maybe I should turn the lights off. I'm not quite sure how well the camera's going to pick this up, but right now we're in disco mode. So let's open our app and select our light kit and select a colour. Or a pattern. I think for the Mark II, we're going to select static blue. The camera really doesn't do this justice, but the reason I choose this particular kit is if you select whatever setting you want when you turn the car off, remove the keys and come back to it the next day, it's still on the same setting you left it on. So that is Footwell lights all installed and tucked away in the Mark II. Let me know if this video helped you in the comments down below. As per usual, like, comment, share and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.